Have you ever wanted your own TV show? Have you dreamed of showcasing your talent for the world to see? Well, now you can. Have your own TV show. You can have your own 30-minute show. Not only will you be seen in the Detroit area, but you can be viewed worldwide. Be seen on WHPR Detroit Live, Comcast Cable Channel 91, on the web at TV33WHPR.com, with the TV33 app, on Roku, Google TV, Apple TV, and on Amazon Fire TV. Act now. Time slots are limited. Sign up today and get a free replay with the purchase of your time slot. For more information, call 313-868-6612. Visit our studios and receive a free TV interview to promote your business, church, or organization by appointment only.
Good morning and welcome to Highland Park Highlights. My name is Rod Liggins and I'm glad to be here with you this morning. It's just after 8 o'clock and it's about 35 degrees outside. But don't let that scare you because I'm being told by meteorologists that the weather should hit 60 degrees today, the temperature that is. So be sure to dress appropriately. We're going to talk about a few things today as it relates to the city, but I want to touch on a few news stories that have taken place both nationally and locally. One of the first stories is that the stimulus bill that President Biden has presented has passed and will now go back to the House for final approval, and then it'll head to his desk, hopefully being signed later this week. That means the $1.9 trillion that are to help businesses as well as individuals should be coming soon. And we know that the stimulus checks, I believe, are totaling about $1,400. There's not a set date as when they'll be dispersed, but we do know help is on the way. We also want to talk about a number of school districts are opening up for the first time this year. Of course, you know they've been closed due to the pandemic and the COVID-19 protocol, but a number of school districts have opened and they're having their students return back to the first day of class today. As well as we look at the world of sports, we know that MSU pulled an upset of one of the top ranked schools, University of Michigan, 70-64. And what that means is the Spartans have a pretty good chance to make it to the big dance and March Madness. University of Michigan has already punched their ticket, so they're all ready to go. It's just a matter of where both teams will be seated. U of M is expected to be a top seed in the NCAA tournament. There was also a lot of fun last night. It was a little different because of COVID, but the NBA All-Star Game was still held in Atlanta, Georgia. The teams played, and the unique thing about this one is for every quarter, tens of thousands of dollars were raised for HBCUs across the country. And that's a big difference from in the past. This is the first time they've been able to dedicate, the NBA has, funds to go strictly to those schools, which will be of great benefit. I know that Giannis Antetokounmpo, he was named MVP, and he had a perfect 16 for 16 shooting record in the game, as well as Steph Curry being named he earned the title of three-point champion. This is the second time in his career he's been able to do that. There's a lot of things going on coming up. There was a lot of talk last night about the Meghan Markle and Prince Harry interview with Oprah Winfrey last night. A lot of things came out that I think were a shock to some and pretty much expected from others. One of the biggest shocks was that Markle said that she had contemplated suicide and she was sought to get help, but there was no help to be found because of when you're in Buckingham Palace, I think they do things a little differently. As well as Prince Harry spoke about how he felt his wife and his newborn child were enduring some of the things that his mother, the late Princess Diana, dealt with, and he just simply did not want to see history repeat itself, and that's why they made the move to the U.S. Also, one thing that really jumped out was the concern of the skin tone of the child. That became a very hot spot to be discussed last night as it related to, will this child have dark skin because the child was part African American, and just if it was going to be dark, then how much or how dark the child would be. And that left a lot of mouths open while watching last night, and I'm sure it'll be discussed on the talk shows throughout the day. But those are just some of the things that are going on nationally. I know here locally, we just completed the first phase of the COVID-19 vaccinations, and that was for our senior community, and we're looking to schedule the second phase of shots, as well as working with, I know the mayor and other city leaders are working with the county to continue and expand the vaccine process so that more folks can be vaccinated from this terrible disease that has really, I mean, it's a pandemic, and we know that. And we also know it's a global pandemic, but what we're looking at is we have to take care of ourselves. And even if you're vaccinated, and whether you are or not, please continue to wear your masks. Please continue to wash your hands, be socially distant from each other. This is the only way this can be defeated. The curve can be flattened. So we want to make sure that we're doing our part. And it's not just protecting ourselves, but protecting our seniors, our children, and pretty much everyone around us. One of the last national stories I want to talk about, there are a number of states, because of the false statements made about a stolen election during the 2020 presidential election, a number of states are working hard at curbing and making it even harder to vote because of the massive turnout. And we have to be more aware of that, and we have to make sure that we share with other folks that they need to fight, because people died, literally died, for our right to vote. And we want to make sure that's exercised, not just in our own backyard, but statewide and nationally. These are the things that we can do and help support those who are going to be facing a lot of court battles. And we know that this is an ongoing battle, because the more people vote, those who are on the losing end of some of these elections, they want to tilt the scales so that, well, let's not make voting so easy. Let's restrict the absentee voting. Let's restrict mail-in voting. And these are things that actually make voting easier for folks who work, who go to school, who may not be able to get to the voting booths. So we just want to be more aware and cognizant of things going on in and around us, because it's not just about our backyard, but we're part of a global community, and we want to make sure our voices are heard as well. Yesterday was the 56th anniversary of Bloody Sunday, where on a bridge in Alabama, thousands of black folk and white folk who were fighting for civil rights were brutally attacked by Alabama state troopers. The late Congressman John Lewis was on that bridge at that time, and this was acknowledged. This is the first anniversary of Bloody Sunday without Congressman Lewis. He passed away several months ago, but it's good to know that his spirit lived on, because people did still remember. The president himself spoke about the acts on Bloody Sunday, as well as signing into executive orders, voting protections. And those are the things that are needed in order to make sure we continue to have safe and valid elections where all the ballots are counted, and we ensure that everyone has the opportunity who is legally allowed to have the right to vote. So we're going to talk more about things of that sort later. What I want to do right now is take a quick break, and when we come back, we want to talk about the Highland Park community. The show is called Highland Park Highlights. So we're going to talk about things that you can do to help make your neighborhood an even better neighborhood, and how to put the neighbor back in neighborhood. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.
I'm joined today by Maureen Taylor and Louis Pisker to let you know about a new financial empowerment center located in the Wayne County Treasurer's Office.
Do you know someone, family or friends, that need help with finances? Do you know people having trouble making ends meet, especially with property taxes or other payments? The Detroit Financial Empowerment Center can help. Treasurer Sabri invites you to visit the new Financial Empowerment Center, 400 Monroe, on the 5th floor in downtown Detroit.
We've partnered with the Wayne County Treasurer's Office and the City of Detroit to provide free one-on-one financial counseling to help you address problems related to utility bills, property or income taxes, credit repair, and other financial matters. Our professional counselors can also help you plan your monthly budget and increase your credit score.
This service is available to all Wayne County residents. For free and private financial counseling, contact the center at 313-322-6222 and make an appointment today.
If you need a car today, use credit, bruise credit, or in need of a financial miracle, my name is Mr. Green, the Financing King. Got a small down payment and proof of income. You can drive away today in a new or pre-owned car, truck, or SUV. Call me, Mr. Green, 313-350-4188. I have over 35 years of experience and an unlimited selection of reliable, certified vehicles. Call Mr. Green, the Financing King, 313-350-4188.
Watch Anthony Adams. We, Detroit. We deserve better. Live on Mondays from 11 a.m. to noon on WHPR TV 33 Detroit. And live stream on Facebook. We, Detroit. We deserve better.
I'm Attorney Carl Collins III. I'm Attorney Carl Collins III. Hello, I'm Attorney Carl Collins III. If you've been injured and you need help, make the best call on your worst day. Call me at 855-CAR-HIT-YOU. That's 855-CAR-HIT-YOU.
Good morning and welcome back to Highland Park Highlights. Again, my name is Rod Liggins. It's just about 8:15 on this Monday, March 8th. And the topic I wanted to bring up today was community. What exactly does that mean when we say neighborhoods? Are we really getting to know our neighbors? And these are the things that I've talked with a number of folks who live in the city of Highland Park, and they can tell you the rich history of growing up in this city where people did know each other. You knew the folks who grew up down the street, and you know there was always a big mom or a big daddy who was looking out for you, telling you to stay out of the street and watch what you're saying and how you're saying it and the words you use. These are some of the things that some folks feel we've gotten away from, and a lot of folks would like to see it restart in their blocks and their communities, but a number of them are looking for ways to start these processes. Well, one of the first things you could do is create a block club. I know growing up as a kid on the west side of Detroit, the man next door, Mr. Scott, he was the block club president, and I really didn't know what all that meant when you're 5, 6, 7 years old. But I remember every year the police would come out and they would put the wooden horses out. They block off the street. Now, if you had parents like mine, we couldn't ride our bikes in the street. It was just too much traffic and cars were speeding up and down. But when that block club party kicked off on that Saturday in the summer, man, let me tell you, you had kids coming out from everywhere. You could play basketball in the street. The adults pulled their grills out and they were grilling on the sidewalk and in the street. The elder members were sitting in their lawn chairs conversing with each other and telling stories about what it was like growing up in the South as well as growing up in the Motor City. And these are some of the things that can be done again here. Starting a block club is not hard. You simply need to get to know your neighbors. And what that means is it's good to wave hi and say hello, but to actually know their names and to actually get to know the children in that house, the adults in the house, and just to reassure parents that if my child is at your house, they're being watched and taken care of, and the same with mine. This goes for the same with pets. There are some who have both cats and dogs that some can, if you're new to that area, they may become quite aggressive. So those are just some of the things how parents and even younger adults can look out for the children, look out for each other. But the block club, once you form that and you're able to host a block club party, these are some of the ways you get to know folks. These are some long street blocks in this city of Highland Park. We know this. And it may be difficult to say if you're at one corner saying hi and getting to know someone at the other corner. But the process has to take place. And what that means is it doesn't happen overnight. So you want to make sure it's a process. You want to make sure that people get to know each other. Maybe a few folks on your side of the block go across the street and get to know them. Then you expand it down a little further until the entire block is known. You can let them know how you want to be addressed. If you want to be called, if you want to be contacted via email, or just slide a newsletter at your door on a monthly basis, just letting you know things that are going on. This is the way we can share news and information. I know another thing that when we had the heavy snowfall, there were a lot of folks who were asking, especially seniors, where are those guys, those kids, boys and girls, with the snow shovels looking to make a few bucks to shovel snow? These are some of the things that we can engage the young people in, and they can work in tandem because there is safety in numbers. But the main thing is you're helping out your community. We know that the city is not able to come out and shovel everyone's snow, the driveways, the walkways, but this is a great way for young people to make money legally and also assist those who could use a helping hand. I know I was out myself helping out a few seniors because I know that they're still mobile. They'll still drive, but the driveway needed to be cleared out, or the sidewalk and the walkways up to the house and maybe to the side door needed to be cleaned. And it takes a few minutes. And I'm not as young as I used to be, but it's good to know you're helping out your neighbors. So these are some of the ways that we can bring the neighbor back in neighborhoods. Another opportunity is landscaping. When we talk about cutting grass, that was one of the biggest things. I've got 3 brothers, and that's one of the biggest things that we did because we didn't have part-time jobs at that time, but we were able to make a decent amount of money for kids, that is, to shovel snow, to cut grass, to trim bushes, to even plant flowers for some folks, and things of that sort. We would do odd jobs for painting fences, anything we could do that would keep us occupied, but also put a few bucks in our pockets were a big deal for us. And I think if we expand and we let our young people know that that's still a need here in 2021, grass cutting, because we see a lot of folks take a lot of pride in their homes, and there are some who would love to, but they may not be able to because of their age or because of some sort of infirmity. But what we want to do is make sure that everyone has the opportunity to have a beautiful landscape and a beautiful, beautifully manicured lawn and the snow shoveled on a regular basis. Excuse me. We also want to make sure that as kids are out playing, and whether they're going back to school or not, that the adults are taking a look, get up off the couch, even if you want to do it just during commercial breaks, and take a peek out the window. As a single man, I've not been fortunate to have fathered any kids, but I still watch out because the kids on my block are my kids. And I make sure that they're able to get to and from school. I'll wave my hand and let them know I'm watching. I make sure to watch and see if there are any cars that seem to be driving a little slower. I also want to make sure that I can catch the license plates of speeders. And if I can do that, I can notify the police to be on the lookout, because we have some folks who they think the neighborhood streets are the Indy 500 Speedway, and we have to do something about that. We have to make sure collectively that we're letting folks know, especially our police department, where the speeders are, describe the vehicle. Even if you can't get the license plate because it's moving too fast, we can at least get an idea of what color it is. Does it have 2 or 4 doors? Is it a truck, an SUV, a car? These are some of the things that we can do to help the police get out and make a conscious effort to ticket those who choose to speed up in and around our neighborhoods. Another thing is engaging your police department as a whole. If you have community meetings, if you have block club meetings, invite some of the police officers to come out. Invite the police chief and get to know your fire department. They can share with you a wealth of knowledge as it relates to personal safety, safety at home, how to be safe when you're out shopping. Are you looking around? If you pull up to a gas station and you see a number of people loitering, is that a gas station that you feel safe pulling into? There's also the thought that some folks, well, I'm just going to leave the keys in the car and I'm going to leave the car running. I'm just going to run in real quick and come. It doesn't take that long for a vehicle to be stolen. So we want to be smart. We want to be careful, and we want to watch out for those. And if we see something, we need to report something. This is the biggest thing that we have to do in our community. And I know, yes, I've heard about this no snitch rule. You're not snitching. Snitching is if you're in on the crime. And even if you decide, if you've taken part in something, you want to report to the police, please do that. This is the only way we can make our neighborhood safer. If we have folks who feel they can come into our community and they can rob and steal and do whatever, they'll continue to do it because they feel that the folks are either too scared or too complacent to speak up and speak out. Is this an easy thing to do? No, but it is a brave thing to do. And you can do some of these, a lot of reporting, you can do it anonymously. But the best way to get to know how to report crimes is getting to know the police officers, the police chief. I've met a number of the folks on the force, and they are more than helpful, and they're more than excited about getting to know the residents, whether you've been here 5 years, 50 years, or beyond. We got to make sure we're doing the community engagement part that will help protect our neighborhoods. Another thing is getting to know the fire department. Fire safety is a big issue, especially now. When we're dealing with below freezing temperatures, there are folks who may have had their gas cut off, or they may have furnace problems where the house is not being heated properly, and then they tend to use other means. It was just brought to my attention that someone was bringing in a propane tank indoors to heat the house, and fortunately he was stopped and advised that the fumes from the heat that you're getting with this unit can be fatal, because it is not easy to heat a house. We know that, but we don't want people using things like lighter fluid to start a fire. We don't want things that have fumes without proper ventilation. Even with a furnace, if the flue is not attached properly, you can suffer carbon monoxide poisoning. So these are some of the things that the fire department can discuss with you. They can let you know in your home where the best places are to place smoke detectors, fire alarms, as well as carbon monoxide detectors, because these are the things that can be fatal if not in proper working order. So these are some of the things that the police department can bring to your attention. You also want to get to know your elected officials. We had the mayor on last week, and there's also the city council that's elected for the city of Highland Park. These are ways to stay engaged with what's going on. If there's any economic development coming, if there's new housing being considered, if there are new federal grant funds. Right now I know there are some CDBG dollars, it's community development block grants for Highland Park residents that can be used for home repairs. And the application process can be found on the city's website, highlandparkmi.gov. If you go on there, and you'll be able to see the application. Some forms need to be notarized, and then you would then take those forms and turn those in at City Hall to the real estate department. But these are some of the ways the city of Highland Park and your elected officials are working to get things that can make life better in Highland Park. And another way we do that is we do things, we have to take initiatives on ourselves as well. As I stated before, if you live near a school, keep an eye out. Sometimes it could be bullying that takes place, and we can let children know, we can let the schools know if we see children taunting each other or physically harming each other. It's not just the parents' responsibility. All of us should be looking out for all children. And once you nip that in the bud, the bullying usually stops. When it's brought to attention and the students know that the schools are serious about this and the community surrounding the schools are taking advantage of looking out for children, because if we truly believe it takes a village to raise a child, then that village is us. That village is those who live around schools, who make an effort, even when you're pulling out. When I leave out going to work and coming here, I make a point to just look around my neighborhood. If I see a stray dog, I want to make sure to get that dog away or blow the horn where the dog will run and go someplace else. Because if a dog feels threatened, the first thing they want to do is attack. And sometimes kids will see dogs and think, oh, it's a playful dog. But I've always been taught that if a dog has teeth, that dog can bite, no matter what the owner says. So it's just being mindful and being more community oriented and making sure that we keep the neighbor and neighborhood. I remember growing up watching movies, Boys in the Hood and This in the Hood, and I'm from the hood. But the main word we took off was neighbor. So we want to make sure the word neighbor is put back in, not just for optics and say, yeah, we're a neighborhood, but we want that to mean something. We want you to get to know your neighbors. Let your neighbors get to know you. And if they know that you're watching, you can tell someone, hey, if I live alone, I want to let my neighbors know, hey, I'm going to be coming in kind of late. Can you put your lights on? I'm going to keep my lights on as well. But a well-lit house, a house where there's sound and activity going on, that becomes less of an opportunity to be a site for a robbery or a burglary, because it's the very dark houses. It's the house that look like no one's there, or it's the house that look like this will be a prime house because there is no deterrent. There are no floodlights. There are no porch lights. There is no light inside the house. And I know my house is not big, so I used to do a lot of things in my house in the rear. But when I pulled up one day, I noticed I left the light on in the back, but I didn't leave any lights on in the front. So I want to make sure that when I leave, and even when I'm there, I want people to see that there's lights on. I want them to see movement in my house. But we also have to keep engaged with one another so that we're making sure our neighborhoods are safe. And with that, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about doing business in Highland Park and being a consumer in Highland Park. Are we bypassing the stores that are up and down the streets of Highland Park to go to malls or other cities? And are we bypassing a lot of jewels that we have here? So stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.
I'm joined today by Maureen Taylor and Louis Pisker to let you know about a new financial empowerment center located in the Wayne County Treasurer's Office.
Do you know someone, family or friends that need help with finances? Do you know people having trouble making ends meet, especially with property taxes or other payments? The Detroit Financial Empowerment Center can help. Treasurer Sabri invites you to visit the new Financial Empowerment Center, 400 Monroe, on the 5th floor in downtown Detroit.
We've partnered with the Wayne County Treasurer's Office and the City of Detroit to provide free one-on-one financial counseling to help you address problems related to utility bills, property or income taxes, credit repair, and other financial matters. Our professional counselors can also help you plan your monthly budget and increase your credit score.
This service is available to all Wayne County residents. For free and private financial counseling, contact the center at 313-322-6222 and make an appointment today.
We at Watkins Broadcasting care about the health and safety of our viewers and listeners. During this novel coronavirus pandemic, please protect yourself and others. Wash your hands well and often. Avoid touching your face. Cough and sneeze into your sleeve. Practice social distancing. Stay at least 6 feet away from others when in public and only leave the house when it's essential. Stay safe. You are important to us. In the world of digital broadcasting, transmitters and exciters sometimes do this. If this happens when you're watching WHPR TV 33, please do this. Watch us on Fire Stick, Roku, Apple TV, Google TV, or TV33WHPR.com. Download the WHPR TV app, and we can also be heard on Amazon Echo. So remember, if you see this, you can do this and support the station that supports you.
Hi, this is Lawanda.
This is RJ Watkins.
Coming to you to bring you some information about the #1 detox in the nation, Lemon Burn. Lemon Burn helps to turn the fat into fit. It's for you, a happier, healthier you. Because you know healthy is the new beautiful. An all-natural way to improve your health. It promotes a healthy digestive system, attacks and reduces belly fat, as well as gives you energy. Need to get yours today. Call 313-868-6612.
Don't forget to exercise and eat right.
Welcome back to Highland Park Highlights. My name is Rod Liggins, and I'm glad that you're taking time out of your morning to spend time with me so we can discuss some of the highlights of the great city of Highland Park. And the thing I want to talk about now is, how do we shop? And specifically, are we shopping in our own city, or are we taking our dollars elsewhere? Now, as we look and we see a number of storefronts, and we see a lot of businesses in Highland Park, for a city that's 2.95 square miles, there are a lot of options here, and we want to make sure that you're considering spending your dollars here, because we know when dollars are spent in Highland Park, that's an investment in Highland Park. That continues to make businesses want to stay here and may draw other businesses here. Now, we know, we spoke last week, in the coming weeks and months, we're going to start hearing about some major developments as it deals with economic opportunities and employment opportunities in the city of Highland Park. We have a lot of space where a lot of businesses can make their mark here, and we have a fantastic community economic development director. Her name is Tiffany Tilley, and she's made it a point to seek out businesses to come make Highland Park their home. But the thing we have to do is, what are we doing about the businesses here? If you were not aware, the chain drugstore that we've had in this market for quite a while chose to close its doors earlier this year. And the thing that we have to realize is there are a lot of smaller pharmacies in the city of Highland Park. I was able to count about 7 of them, and I hear there may even be an 8th one. We're going to make sure we start putting information out on just what you can find in the city of Highland Park, but we want to make sure that you're taking a tour of the stores and frequenting them and the businesses that you patronize. Let folks know where they can go, because one of the biggest things, and if you're like me, I like to eat. So I want to make sure I find out, where's the best corned beef? Is there a pizza place nearby? Who has the best ethnic foods? Are there other places with Chinese, Italian, Middle Eastern? Do we have those here? And we are working, and we want to find ways to bring them here. We also want to look at the mom and pop places. Yes, we know we have a couple of national franchises here, and they're great, but we also want to make sure we're giving our dollars to those who opened up their own and became an entrepreneur in the city of Highland Park because they wanted to make Highland Park their home, and they felt this was a great place to set up shop. If I know a lot of guys, it's getting warm now. It's going to be warm today, and a lot of guys want to get out there and detail their cars. So you want to hit the auto parts shop and make sure you have the best cleaning equipment. I've got a brother who, if you look at his car, his wife's car, and his 2 daughters, he keeps those suckers clean. I mean, clean inside and out. And when he looks at mine, he tells me that I need to step up my game. But the main thing is, you want to be able to spend those dollars here because we have the places that can provide you those services and those items that you're looking for. Another thing is clothing. We can find stores that are geared towards women, geared towards men, geared towards children, or they may have a combination. But we have to make sure that we're looking and finding ways to spend dollars in our city. The biggest thing I was taught as a young person is when you take your money out and spend other places, that's your prerogative, but that's an investment opportunity missed for the businesses that are in your city, in your neighborhood. And because we have a major thoroughfare of Woodward, you can walk up and down Woodward and you can find a variety of things that you would need, from supermarket shopping to just picking up maybe a gallon of milk or a loaf of bread, grabbing some snacks. Everything that you would look for in the city can be found in the city. We just have to make a conscious effort to do that. And that's the thing that we want to stress. I know that for the holidays, we want to get the biggest bang for our buck. And a lot of people were shopping online because of the pandemic. And that just sent sales through the roof for online sales. But the brick and mortar places, they were pretty much struggling. And even the eateries, they had to either shut down or go to a limited capacity. As of today, the governor is allowing restaurants to open their dining areas to 50% capacity. That means that we have to make an extra effort to keep these businesses viable in our communities. So if you get a chance and you feel like eating out, go ahead and try to frequent the places that are here, either through carry out or dining in. You can still wear your masks. You can still make sure that you're washing your hands and being socially distant. But we don't want to let businesses just close and fall by the wayside because we're going through a pandemic. I know that a lot of the mail order options out there are great, and they seem to be, I don't even have to get up, and I don't have to get clothes on, I don't have to get dressed to shop. But with that ease, that comes with a high price for local stores that we used to call mom and pop stores. The stores that are starting out with somebody that's really hoping just to break even at this time and then be able to make a profit. So these are some of the things that we can do. When we say shop Highland Park, that means everything, starting with just getting a few gallons of gas or filling up the tank at a Highland Park gas station and getting to know these folks in these stores. The benefit of living in a town or a city this size is you can actually get to know the folks who own the gas stations, the folks who owns the party stores and the eateries and the pharmacies. You can get to know them on a first name basis because you can continue to create a business relationship with these businesses. We can also look for them to help support or sponsor some youth activities. We can also look to highlight these places to other folks who don't live in Highland Park. I love hearing about places that I should take my dollars to because they have the best corned beef, or these are the best places to go for ribs, or if you're looking for Chinese food, you want to go try da-da-da-da-da. So this is how we can effectively engage and create foot traffic for local businesses, because we know that it's the small business owners that really make an impact in cities, and we want to see every opportunity that someone has. If they're coming here to make this their home, we want to frequent that. We want to patronize those businesses. And let me say this. A lot of times if we don't get what we want, or if it doesn't come out the way we liked, we write them off. Well, I'm never going back to that place again. Well, let's try a different attitude. Let's try a different way of thinking. If there's something that's not to your liking, ask to speak to the manager. Ask to see if the owner is there. Engage them and let them know, hey, I came here and ordered this. The last time I came, it was great. Then I get this. Somebody slipped. Somebody dropped the ball. I don't want to just write off your business, but this is not what I was expecting. And the same with customer service. I went to a restaurant. I sat down, and the food wasn't to my liking. So I said, I would like to have this taken back. And they took the food back, but the waiter came up and said, well, I hope this doesn't affect my tip. because I'm not the one that made the meal and I didn't do this. So I'm hoping that when you tip me first of all, he didn't know he was getting a tip. And to take it upon himself to let me know that the problem I had with my food wasn't his fault. I know the role of the waiter and I know the role of the kitchen staff. But I thought, how disrespectful and rude. I'm out on a date and he's coming up to implore me to make sure that I give him the tip he feels he deserves, when I felt like not only are you being rude by engaging me, telling me what I should be paying you, I wasn't even happy with the meal. Had he made sure that my meal was tight and everything was good and then said, hope everything's okay, I may have had a different viewpoint. But I made a point to share that with the manager. He didn't get fired, but they had a talk with him and let him know that's not how you engage people. Don't come and tell me you want your tip because you had nothing to do with what came out of the kitchen. So these are some of the things that we can share with business owners because they want to get it right. And I know that when folks, they get trained, when they first start their job, welcome to such and such, hey, how can I help you? And then after a while, it seems like, next, can I help you? And it seems like you lose that same zeal you had when you first came and got the job. And sometimes managers need to know that. I know they're running around trying to do a number of things, inventory, payroll, things of that sort, security, cleaning up. But you got to make sure the customer feels like they're the only customer in the business. And the way we do that is by engaging those owners and letting them know, hey, I didn't have a great time here last night, or hey, I'm not having a good time here, so I'm going to go leave, but I may come back, but I need to know that you're going to make sure that when I come back, there's going to be great service. And I'm not talking about trying to get the hookup. Don't go into a business because you know it's a locally owned, hey, I see you got $20 sticker on here, but can you give it to me for $15? You wouldn't do that at a mall. You wouldn't do that at a major store. So let's try to make sure that we're buying and paying. And sometimes it will be a few bucks more. But that's because they're smaller. That's because they're just starting to grow. And that's because they want to have customers to come back. And they may not be able to compete with a large chain that can sell something that you have to go a little further out for. We want to keep our dollars here. We want to make sure that folks who are looking to buy things here are able to shop here. And the same with hardware stores. Yes, we know of a number of big box stores that have almost every type of screw, every type of bolt, every type of nut, and every kind of tool you can think of. But we got to make sure that we're checking out the local stores because they may have just what we need and it's right there. But we just felt like, well, I have to go to this big box store. I have to go to these large chain stores. And that's not the case because Highland Park has a lot to offer. And we hope that there are folks out here who are budding entrepreneurs that will take a look at Highland Park and say, you know, I think I'm going to give Highland Park a shot. I think this is a great place to start a business. This is a great place to hang my shingle out, whether it be for medical services, legal services, clothing, food, or other services, plumbing. The city is open, and we want to make sure you're engaged with that. So please come out and take a look at some of our storefronts and take a look at some of the places that we have available because you may just find the home for your next business. So keep that in mind. We're going to take another break now, and we're going to close out with just some final thoughts about things that can make living in Highland Park, working in Highland Park, visiting Highland Park even better than what it already is. Stay tuned.
Have you ever wanted your own TV show? Have you dreamed of showcasing your talent for the world to see? Well, now you can. Have your own TV show. You can have your own 30-minute show. Not only will you be seen in the Detroit area, but you can be viewed worldwide. Be seen on WHPR Detroit Live, Comcast Cable Channel 91, on the web at TV33WHPR.com, with the TV33 app, on Roku, Google TV, Apple TV, and on Amazon Fire TV. Act now. Time slots are limited. Sign up today and get a free replay with the purchase of your time slot. For more information, call 313-868-6612. Visit our studios and receive a free TV interview to promote your business, church, or organization by appointment only.
I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabri, encouraging all taxpayers to please take advantage of the several payment options available.
You can pay online by visiting the Wayne County Treasurer's Office website. Paying online is easy and convenient.
You can also download the mobile app and pay with your smartphone.
You can pay at one of 70 kiosks located throughout Wayne County.
And yes, you can always still send in your payments using the U.S. Postal Service.
If you have to visit our office in person, you must make an appointment by going to treasurer.waynecounty.com. It only takes a few minutes. Facial covering or mask is required and social distancing is observed. Your health and safety is very important to us. You can also email our office at taxinfo@waynecounty.com or call us at 313-224-5990.
Good morning and welcome back to Highland Park Highlights. My name is Rod Liggins, and we've been talking today about really much the city of Highland Park, how we can be engaged both as a resident, as a business owner, as visitors or folks that work in the city. But I want to talk right now, as we end the last segment, about you, the person. Now, due to the pandemic, a lot of us who heeded the advice of the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, we stayed in home. We stayed in-house. And I know that meant we weren't very active at that time. And as you can see from the picture on your screen, you may not know I'm 6'4" and I weigh about too doggone much. That's what I weigh right now. So I know that being active can be a start to a healthier lifestyle. Now, we're in March, and I know that a lot of people made a lot of New Year's resolutions, and almost every single year, the top resolution is losing weight. Well, the thing about that is you have to have a plan. You can't just go and say, okay, I'm going to stop eating this. I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to stop it. Because a lot of times, cold turkey doesn't really work for everyone. So we want to make sure that we take advantage of the activities that we have here. Highland Park has a great rec center over on 10 Pitkin Street, and I've had a chance to go there several times, and it's just a phenomenal location. And if you haven't already been there, you really want to make sure you stop by and take advantage of that facility, because there are a lot of things that you can do that some folks pay big dollars for and have to pay these gym memberships that cost anywhere from $30 to $50 a month, and they don't have half of what you can find at the rec center. The other thing is, during the snow months, we can still get out in the snow. I know you got to bundle up a bit more, but there are some places, and I don't want to give away anything, but I'm going to let you drive around and see where a lot of kids find those hills where they get those toboggans or sleds, and they just have a ball with it. And a lot of us adults can have some fun with it too if we're deciding to get involved in that sport. But as I said earlier, Today it's supposed to hit 60 degrees, and we're supposed to start to get into more warm weather as we slowly make that creep out of winter and that we run towards the warmth of spring. And with that being said, these are some of the things that you can do in your community to get to a better and a healthier you. And the first thing is you can go walking. I looked, and like I said before, they have some phenomenal blocks in this city, and there are some beautiful houses to take a look at, and the yards may not be that well landscaped right now because we're still into the dreary days of winter. But as we get to these days where the sun is out and it's getting warmer and folks are going to start taking more better care of their yards, walking your neighborhoods is a great way to get some great exercise. And I mean, it can be done in the morning, midday, whatever your schedule permits, after work, right after dinner, right before dinner. And again, you want to be mindful. You want to be safe and you be careful. And there's a way you can do strength in numbers. And this is where you can get with a few of your members of your block, a few members of your, if you have a social club you belong to, a few members of your church. You can be outside. You can wear a mask. You can be socially distant and literally have a great time getting re-engaged with your neighbors and friends. We also can see where if you're of the running sport, you can get out the jogging shoes and go jogging. Same rules apply. You want to make sure that you're taking the COVID-19 precautions, but that doesn't mean you can't do your exercise. And we want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. If you're under a doctor's care and he has you on specific meds, make sure you stay on that and ask your doctor about taking on a new exercise plan, whether it's light or very strenuous, because there are some things we have to build up to. Having grown up with three brothers, we ran a lot. We rode our bikes a lot. We played sports a lot. But as you start to get of age where you're having kids of your own and you're becoming uncle and a couple of you aunts out there, you want to make sure that you're doing things that don't cause harm to you, because it's not, you don't bounce back like you used to as the older you get. So you want to make sure you're doing the proper stretching. You want to make sure you warm up if you know you're going to go outside and doing things, whether it's warm outside or cold. You don't want to pull any muscles. You don't want to cause any more pain, because when something hurts, you tend to shut down the exercise process and you're back to sitting on the couch or lying in bed while you're healing. So you want to take it gradually with the exercise. It could be a few jumping jacks, a few push-ups and sit-ups. And as I stated before, you can go walking. If you know of a place that has some stairs, you can go up and down the stairs. If you feel the need to hold on to the banister, that's fine. But the main objective is being active. And these are the things that you can do in your own neighborhood. If you want to take advantage of outdoors. And I know a lot of parents, they complain about their children. They sit at the computer. They sit at the video games. They sit looking on their phones. They're on their tablets. They're on their laptops. Well, at some point, the parents have to say, you know, we're going to shut this down and we're going to go outside. And if you think kids don't want to play with their parents, you're horribly mistaken, because you have to make it fun. I can remember growing up, and my parents, I took my three brothers and we went out to the park, and the first thing my brother said was, "Mama, why are you picking up the baseball bat? You can't hit a baseball." And not only did she send that ball sailing, we made him go get it because he doubted her, and he didn't even want to play the outfield because he didn't figure the ball was going to go that far. So those are some fun family memories that even at this age I still remember and I had fun doing. These are some of the things that you can do not only with your family, but encourage other kids. If you really do it right, you can engage them to play some 3-on-3 basketball, boys and girls. They may want to just go out and play catch. They may want to play two-square. I saw on TV yesterday this little girl, she drew a hopscotch pattern on the sidewalk, and random people, they walk and they look, and before you know it, they were jumping one leg, two legs, twisting, and everything else. So there are a ton of things that I think if we engage our kids more and encourage them to get outside more, saying go outside doesn't matter if they still have their phones and if they're still sitting out using their tablets outdoors instead of indoors. But investing in a $4 or $5 frisbee, investing in a ball of any size, just playing catch, and whoever drops it is out. And the games that you can make up where there's a lot of movement. We used to have relay races on the sidewalk. So these are some of the fun things that you can actually do and have a good time while you're doing it. So take advantage of the warm weather. And if you have to do things inside, shut off the TV or put on some music, and you can do some aerobic type exercises in the house. But this is the way everyone's engaged. So I want to thank you for taking time and spending your Monday with us. And I hope that you'll join me next Monday for Highland Park Highlights. We will talk to people who are residents. We'll talk to folks who make things happen in the city. Everything that we do on this show, we want to highlight Highland Park. So I hope you have a great Monday and an even better week. Take care and see you soon.